Take the electric vehicle sector. It is a crucial industry for the clean economy with a huge potential in Europe. But global markets are now flooded with cheaper Chinese electric cars.
Isn't it great that the Europeans can now contribute to a cleaner environment without going broke? Thank you, China, for keeping our inflation low. I'm sure she feels the same. Let's hear what she has to say.
And their price is kept artificially low by huge state subsidies.
Well, Ursula, if we didn't send all those billions of euros to Ukraine so they can buy American weapons from that money, benefiting the US military complex and prolonging a war that takes so many lives, we could have used that money to subsidize our own industries and just for once benefit our own people in Europe. I'm sure you agree with me. Let's see what she has to say.
This is distorting our market.
But Ursula, isn't this what we have been doing in other countries for hundreds of years? I mean, shall we ask the Africans? Shall we ask the people from South America? Shall we ask the other Asians? Or hell, we can just ask the Chinese, as I will elaborate on that history.
And as we do not accept this distortion from the inside in our market.
But what you mean, baby? The entire European economy has already been taken over by the United States of America. But somehow you don't seem to have a problem with that. Or are you being paid by them? And that's a question. To my followers, let me know what you people think of that. Is she being paid by the United States of America? Let me know in the comment section, but please keep it respectful. We are not savages, like some people.
We do not accept this from the outside.
But you do this to other nations for hundreds of years, until this very day.
So I can announce today that the Commission is launching an anti-subsidy investigation into electric vehicles coming from China.
Well, I guess the West all of a sudden doesn't like free trade anymore. This is your favorite half Chinese. We already knew from the United States that they are against free trade in their own country and pro-free trade in other countries. And now it is also Europe on the same bandwagon. Oh boy, what a surprise. The master told them to jump. And then they ask again, how high, master? The fact of the matter that it would be great for the environment and their citizens, as the citizens would be able to afford a clean car instead of going broke on a clean car. And I thought that we in Europe wanted to have a clean Europe. In the Netherlands, we even want to get rid of all our farmers to get that goal. Not sure what we will eat after that, but at least we have no more farmers that pollute. Let's get back to the story. So for a ton of time, the self-proclaimed free democratic Western world forced other nations into allowing free trade. In 1840, after the Opium War was lost by China, China had to sign an unfair treaty that we would call today a free trade treaty. And after that, more and more was forced to sign. They brought in more companies and destroyed China's vibrant economy. Mind you, China wasn't particularly poor at that time. It was 1/3 of the world's GDP. But because of the self-proclaimed free democratic Western countries and Japan, they were overrun. If we look at the same forces today, are the same forces of back then. So what does free trade do? I give an example of China back in the days. They used to have running messengers who went from town to pass messages. The West installed telegraph systems and the companies and destroyed all of the jobs of those messengers. Now, this is what they have been doing all over the world in South America, Asia, Africa, and the USA in Europe. They installed their corporates and your own people cannot fight against it and have no choice but to just simply work for them. This is also how they take control over other countries, as they will penetrate all the major institutes like in Africa, which is rich in resources. How many of those resources are actually under African controls? And how many are under Western companies' controls? Then we have another huge one, the financial systems. How many countries have banks under the rule of Western companies? Just check out their shares. So they take over the resources and the financial sector in the name of free trade, then exclude the local people from having a chance to grow as they have monopolized the trade. You can't get a loan that doesn't strangle you. You can't get the resources from your own land for a decent price. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. Now we in the West are profiting from that, but we are being told that free trade is wonderful. Yes, it is wonderful from one side, not so much from another side, because it isn't free at all. It's monopolizing, and any human being with a bit of a brain can understand that monopolies are anything but free. They are dictatorial in nature. That is why government should not allow them, same as cartel forming, but the West is great in using innocent sounding words for disastrous atrocities. Free trade literally enslaved people and stopped their opportunity to be independent and truly free. So there's nothing free about it. And that is also exactly why they don't want to allow it in their own country. And I agree, I'm against their form of what they call free trade. So I also demand from the EU and the US, since they both do not believe and do not want to adhere to free trade principles that they have set up themselves, they all should stop the free trade in other nations as well, just to be fair. But they don't. They desperately want more access to China, but want to have no access for China in the West. It is the same as back in 1840 till 1949. They want to make money over the backs of Chinese people, but they don't want the Chinese people to make money out of them. Maybe it is time for a change of thought, principles, and maybe install some real values and some fairness. Let me know what you all think, but please keep it respectful in the comment section. Please like and share. This was your favorite Half Chinese, and as always, have a wonderful day.